Listen to our panel of 4 amazing families talk about their student strengths and how to keep focus on your child's strengths. This is something we talk about a lot to families. You kind of get caught up in goals and working on all those weaknesses, and it's so important for us to kind of stop and take time to focus on what our kids can do. And there's magic with that, because when you are applauding the things they can do and fostering the things they can do, amazing things start to happen, and that's where we find our children's quality of life. So it's a really, really important thing to remember. It's hard to do day to day, but it's things like this where we can come together to be inspired by each other and remember what's really important in life and what's really important for our kids. So we're going to start with Sean. Sean Piper is an amazing singer. That's one of his many strengths. And he has agreed to come up and sing our national anthem to us. So it's a very special treat. Sean, are you ready? Yeah, we're all patient here. We all understand. He was a little upset when he came in because the ECS does not have an elevator, and he thought it did. It looks like it should, right?
Back is quick.
Okay, he sang before Special Olympics this past year. It was so awesome. It was just absolutely amazing. Everybody had tears in their eyes. It was so cool. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, Sean. And I think since Sean sang the national anthem, we're going to start with the Piper family. And what the families are going to do is they're going to tell a little background about themselves, and they're going to talk about different ways that they were able to find their children's strengths and inspire you. So we're ready for the Pipers. And it's Monica who's going to talk because her husband requested that. He said he'll just sit there and just look pretty. I'm Monica Piper. This is my husband Jeff, and this is great little brother Aiden. Sean's 14. He's a freshman in high school. His story really starts when he was an infant or a baby. And, we had the classic signs of autism. There was no talking, no babbling, no eye contact. So he was diagnosed fairly early. However, he was humming a lot and always wanted music toys. So we knew there was a real interest in music with him. When he started music therapy when he was a child, the music therapist would tell us, he wasn't talking, but he was humming. And he would hum classical songs in perfect pitch. So he said, do you realize he's humming in perfect pitch?
we didn't know much about it, so we said, cool, we don't know what to do with this, but we thought it was awesome. And then every music therapist after, said, he sings in perfect pitch. So we realized this was a gift. We started music therapy, I think, when he was younger, around maybe 7 or 8. And either maybe we were in Chicago, and either he wasn't ready, or maybe it wasn't a good fit, but it was not a great experience, it just wasn't a good fit, and he didn't respond really well to it. So we thought, okay, we'll table that for a while. We moved to Frisco, and we found a phenomenal music therapist, and I would recommend music therapy for all kids with special needs, not just, he has a kind of a special gift, but I feel like music therapy brings a lot out for kids. It teaches them communication because they have to either sing or talk, or even if they're nonverbal, they're learning keys, they're learning rhythms, they're learning an awful lot from music therapy, so I'm a huge fan of music therapy. Well, she got a lot out of him, and he started learning songs, and we were lucky and fortunate to have him sing at a charity event last April. And since then, it kind of just blossomed. He blossomed. We kind of found that, when you see him sitting here or at a school, you see a completely different kid. He's kind of on his own and does his thing, but he kind of blossoms on the stage. That's where he likes to be. He's very comfortable. Just last Thursday, he actually sang at a celebrity softball event at the Rough Rider Stadium and sang God Bless America there, and did fantastic. No nerves, nothing. So I think for us, we found his path. We found a gift for him, and we're just continuing to nurture it. And, I think finding the right therapist and right advocates is huge and is key, because we could want it, but if you don't find the right people that can bring this out of him, then it's hard to do everything you need to do. But we've been really lucky. We focus on the music, and like Colleen said, we all have struggles. She saw it right before we came in. He thought the school had an elevator and was very upset. He was not happy that the school did not have an elevator. So we had some calming down to do literally not even 15 minutes ago. So we've all been there where the struggle is there, but we kind of focus on his strength. And we've been lucky enough to have some really good opportunities come up, and I think the more that people are hearing about him, we're just getting more and more opportunities, and he loves it. And I tell people a lot, for us, it's not about, getting known and all this stuff, and this is where I start to cry, but, it's showing that our kids with special needs can do a lot of cool stuff. And so, that's his message when he goes out there and sings, that, whether it's music, or it's art, or computers, or video games, or writing, or cooking, like whatever their strength is, you don't always see it, but if it's nurtured, our kids have an awful lot to contribute to our community and to our society. Please indulge little brother here, because he wants to speak also. Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Aiden, and Sean is very good at singing. He has this special talent singing, and he likes to sing on stage a lot, because he actually, when he's doing nothing, he's basically just playing on his iPad or an iPhone, but when you see him on stage, it's actually really amazing of what he can do right on stage. And
one thing in our house, it's all music all the time. So if he's not singing, he's listening to songs. It's constant music. It's classical music, it's the Wiggles, it's U2, it doesn't matter, but there's always music.
He also has a very special talent playing the drums. He actually recorded Vertigo, and he actually is a very good drummer. He didn't drum that song when he recorded it, but he still has a very good talent of drumming. Vertigo. So he also likes to not play the piano, but he kind of plays the piano, but not that often. He actually sings while his music teacher, Miss Mary, plays the piano. So that is actually most of his talents. Like that's his talents and his things that he can do very well. He also does music therapy at Stone Music, which is a really popular music therapy, and Sean has Miss Mary, and he practices a lot there. We also have a drum kit at home, so he gets to practice a lot at that. So he can play Vertigo whenever he wants, so he can go into the room that it's in and just start playing. And he also loves to perform, so when he performs on stage, it's a complete difference than when he's just sitting around there doing nothing, so.
I didn't see our kids' mansion, right?
Yes. He loves to sing. He loves to sing for the audiences mostly. He loves elevator. He walked in here and thought there was an elevator here, but no. Wah, wah, wah. He also loves the iPad because you can even see him right now. He actually sings at a lot of concerts, so a lot of people are, Sean is really known, and some people actually know him, and our whole family is really proud of him. So, yeah, and we love him.
So I have to say, obviously, your strength is public speaking. Absolutely phenomenal. Can you tell me another one of your strengths, because I'm so inspired by you?
One of my other strengths is art. I actually love drawing and drawing pictures, so I love to do art when I can't do anything else. And you are like a voice for your brother, so how blessed is your brother to have you, and how blessed are you to have your brother? So thank you so much. That was wonderful. Dad, do you have any strengths besides sitting pretty? I'm sure you do, to raise such great boys and keep up with that beautiful wife of yours. And Monica has a strength. She is an ADA therapist, has her own business, and she's done, I don't know if you've seen her, but she's done a parent training, behavior training for us, and she's doing a smaller one in our lending library later this year, so come out and see her. She's a big blessing to us, so thank you, we appreciate it.
We've been really blessed with personality, so thank you for everything you've done.
Okay, now we're on to the right family. They are definitely not wrong. Jim, would you like to be the speaker?
Sure. I think that's the first act of But say, how much do you charge for public speaking lessons? Because I know somebody right here that could benefit your strengths. You might think about that. It might be a great opportunity. That was very, very impressive. Well, I guess we are the Wrights. This is Freddie, who is thrilled to be here. This is Franklin, also Is it Haya? Oh, his name is Haya. So many people that don't know Franklin or Freddie, that he thinks he's saying Haya, but he's actually talking about his brother. And so that was the first words that he ever spoke. He was nonverbal for a long time. And then this one is his name is Franklin, and her name is Toy, and my name is Jim. So when we started off as a young family, we had 2 children that couldn't speak for many years. So he's now 14 and you're
11.
It's baby steps. And they both had severe speech apraxia. We didn't figure that out until he was in Montessori school, after 3 years old. We had to drive to Collier School, we tried testing and we tried things, and we had a teacher luckily that said, I really think you need to take him over to early childhood services. And so he actually came here when that first opened up. His Montessori school was down the street, so they get the bus from there to here and there. And after it took about a year of that he finally could speak. So we went about 6 years without understanding the conversations from our children. I miss those days. But the services that we have had here in Frisco have really impacted our family and our extended family as well, because it impacts everybody that you're around. So going into the school systems, what were the strengths that we could find? And we found early on that Freddie communicated with pictures. He communicated with his iPad, and not necessarily the talking devices for you, but he was inspired by taking pictures. And these are pictures he took when he was in the 2nd grade. And so he's in the 8th grade now. His teachers identified that, and they encouraged us to enter his pictures into the PTA Reflections program, and they made it to the state level. So he got some recognition, got to meet the mayor, who also was mayor forever, now we have a new mayor, so think of Mayor Cheney. And it really opened him up to the community, that was his gateway, because he is legally blind. He was born with cataracts in both his eyes. And so when he was a little kid, he would just literally do this for hours and hours, and he was at peace. But that's about as far as he could see. But through the vision therapist and the goals that we've had, they've taken him out in the community to help him scan and how to work his eyes, that you would not know that he's legally blind. He's gotten determined to not use the cane, to fit in, to get around. So we do, like we for the first year, they're going to the same school, and so we go to school in the mornings, and he's, our little boy until we get to the side of that school, then we're, got to follow the 10-foot rule. What do you say? Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. And he goes and walk with Hyatt, then they go to school, and as soon as he gets in school, he ditches Hyatt, he goes to his class, and Hyatt goes to, or Franklin goes to his class. And we didn't know that for a long time, but we thought Franklin was being a good brother and taking him to class. Independence reigns. One of Freddie's strengths is that he's in charge at home. He likes routine, and we're breaking it right now, so we're not doing the strong thing right now. But he does chores, and that's something that Colleen encouraged us to do years ago, to start the steps towards independence and to have some structure and push him to do things. And he's actually had, OT for many years, and he actually is, quote, graduated from his OT because he's able to meet his goals, his needs. Now, he doesn't do it very well at home, does it great at school, but somebody's an enabler, and I don't know why he won't do it, but he will say, no, that's your job. That's the clearest thing that he can say. Freddie, go get your juice. No, your job, Dad. And so he picks out all the clothes that Franklin and Freddie are going to wear the next day, so Franklin has a lot of trust in his brother. And luckily, Freddie pays attention to what you're supposed to wear at school more than Franklin does, so he keeps Franklin in line of what the theme of the week is and those type of things. So he actually helps you out, doesn't he? Yeah. Freddie's gotten a little bit more independent this year. He used to have like the real short hair and cut like that, and I asked him, so do you want your hair cut like Dad, or do you want to get your hair cut like, well, I wouldn't get cut, your style, I guess is the right word, like Franklin. He just left me and went to Franklin, and it's looking good on him. So he's seen some friends from his school last year, and they were very impressed with his do and his growing up. And I had a picture of him from last year, and I thought it was like 3 years old, and it's only like 1 year. So the time goes by fast, and you have to really be involved and pay attention. One of the great things about being in Frisco is the support of the community. I think one of the great things that happened to us is the Miracle League. When they were little, we took him out there to go in the Miracle League, and he wouldn't do anything, and Franklin wouldn't do anything, and we put them together, and they let us kind of break the rules, and, well, they didn't have much choice, but they were together out there, and that was the first time that they actually played together, because they wouldn't play together, they didn't know how to play together at home. It was like having two individual children, two only children. And that structure out there opened the door for them to start doing things together, and that started the bond that they're super close now, and they really watch each other's back. I think Franklin's strength is having patience and understanding and independence. And he has participated in almost every therapy session that Freddie has ever had for the last, I call it free therapy, but he helps facilitate Freddie doing the work he was doing at the therapist or at the home therapy, because you know, he would not do it without Franklin doing it, because if I have to do it, you have to do it. And Franklin was a good brother to go along with him and to help facilitate that, and it's really raised up. Freddie's able to do a lot more than he shows off, because he's happy not doing a lot. I guess he's a very high-functioning, lazy person. He works hard to be lazy. The other thing that's helped us is the Special Olympics, and we're participating with the older kids, so we're getting the role models of the kids that have either aged out or in the high school area. And so you see both sides of the younger and the older, and so he's able to now role model for the younger kids. In his classroom, he's the only 8th grader, and all the rest are 6th graders, so he's a leader in his class. And his teacher has informed us that when he goes in there, without hurrying and saying anything, he'll go in and he'll set up the classroom. He'll get everything ready, because we get there a little bit before everybody else does. And then when the classroom comes in, he kind of greets everybody, gets everything going, and he's facilitating that. And she's just like, okay. And that was just something he kind of did on his own. And she's really enhanced that and to incorporate that to help him bring out more of his skills that way. One thing that we do as a family to go out in the community is we go to almost every special needs screenings at the theaters, and I think it's good that, you know, we're homebodies, all of us are, but we are participating in the community too, and we can feel, that's a place that you can feel safe at, you can be yourselves, you can not feel self-conscious. Like this right here is a safe place that, hey, we all get it, we've all done it, and you know what I'm talking about. So what are the things that your children love to do? Well, we all like to play video games, and so as a result of this video game thing, Franklin has actually entered a contest, and he won a contest, and this is the game that he designed, and it's produced by University Games, and you did this in 2nd grade, right? Yeah. 2nd grade. And so the pretty cool thing about this is this, you can go on Amazon, you can buy it, but the thing that you really need to know about this is that when he made this game, he couldn't read. He's severely dyslexic, and at that time he was not identified. He can read now, so so don't give me that look. Also, I tell everybody this when you're not around, so better get used to it. And so he won some great stuff. He got some good accolades. He got some little bit of fame. But the most important thing that for me is he got confidence. He got self-esteem. Because I was really, really worried about that at that time. Because he's very bright. But when you have a deficit that everybody else can see, that can get embarrassed or mad. I hope you're embarrassed. That's what parents do. And that's held to today. That because you have a sibling, and if you have other children, you have to worry about your child. That it's not that special, or whatever the words you want to use today. And the self-esteem that he had from that, and from giving back to his brother, and being comfortable with who he is a huge strength. And that's something that's going to carry you far in life, is to have that belief in yourself and that you can do whatever you want to do. So our structure of our house is that we don't have much structure. We have what we call a formal playroom, as opposed to most people have real nice and neat tables and chairs and pretty things. And we have games and dice and books and stuff, for all kinds of games. We like to play other people's games, and sometimes they let me win, but not very much. These two like go against each other, and then if they forget about me, then I can win. Otherwise, I don't have a chance. And so as a consequence, he's very motivated to do the video game things. What do you want to do when you grow up?
Be a game maker.
Are you going to work for somebody else, or are you going to work for yourself?
Self. So I can be the boss.
So what happened to your game after you won the contest? Is that your game anymore?
No. The big university game, they bought it.
So you lost some control and power, so you're going to learn that lesson of business. If you want to have control of your product and your thoughts, you have to be the owner, right? And so what he and his mom do, they watch a show called The Profit. That's something that, it's like the Shark Tank Andy show, but it teaches you about business things, and they watch that and they discuss that, what would they do, how would they do it, should they do it, that type of thing. So they also watch Hallmark movies, but we'll go into that. I don't know if that's a strength or weakness that. They tell me it's a strength. It's better than SpongeBob. He loves to sing. He loves music, and I think as I agree with Monica over here that singing is a strength to bring out language. And so if you have a child that's nonverbal, try to get into some kind of music situation where they can work on a different part of the brain to bring that to the tongue. That brings in motivation, and brings in a lot of different emotions and passions to bring out the strengths that are locked in there. Because the ability and the need and desire to communicate is there. It's just how do you get that stupid tongue to work the way you want it to? And music has been a very powerful tool in doing that. And so some of the schools have like partner choir programs, and there's a program that I really believe in that's very powerful to change his focus of his life, his self-confidence, and his desire to want to go to school. And that's a big thing. You want to talk? Not really? You have anything you want to say? Is there any questions or anything else? Or
Anybody have any questions?
Have I rambled enough?
Do you want to tell everybody what you do? Yeah. Tell him your strength, Jim. And if you weren't here at the meet and greets, then he's going to fill you in on his position.
Okay, so this is my wife's strength. She told me, get off my butt and go do something with the knowledge I've acquired over the years. I found my passion when Freddie was born to, I figured out what I was supposed to do here. And so I've been sitting in those chairs for the last 10 years, trying to figure out how to make things better for our family and our kids. And so I've gone to many trainings all over the area, just trying to get that knowledge. And so I got this knowledge that I guess I needed to put to use, and there's an opportunity. I volunteered for this company called the PATH Project for a number of years. And then I had told the person before me, really cool job. If you ever, move on, let me know. She remembered, and so she encouraged me to apply. And the PATH Project is a federally funded nonprofit that serves as Texas PTI. That's a Parent Training Information Center, and that is mandated by the IDA law that we have for special education to do that. So we serve as Texas PTI, and I cover Region 10. I want to make sure I don't work for Region 10 because it's very confusing. So what I do workshops and trainings. I do parent calls if you're upset or frustrated with things going on with your family and your child and everything, so help you work through those strategies. And then we've got a new focus that we're really trying to figure out, is that we're going to really try to focus on children that are from 14 to 26 years old, to how they can participate in life more effectively. And so we're going to come up with a workshop in late February, or the symposium, we'll be the first one in the state to do this, and kind of figure out how to do it. So maybe brainstorming with experts that I know here in Frisco for ideas and speakers. And we're going to have like Texas Workforce Solutions, we have companies that do specialize in trainings, special education parents or children, how to do job interviews, how to apply for colleges, how you self-identify for your disability, because you don't have to if you don't want to. That's a big fear that families have, is like, I know my son or daughter needs help, but I don't want to tell anybody because I'm afraid it's going to affect my ability to get a job or go to college and everything. And so we have to educate and get the information out how that really works. And so we're really excited about bringing that. I'm really nervous about it. But I have some my cards up here if you want to get more information. I'll be glad to talk to you or send you more information afterwards. And it's something that has been a passion of mine, and it's something I've really enjoyed being able to give back. So but today I'm going to wear my parent hat more than that hat. So thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next family we have up is literally half of the Ezzadine family is here. The boys could not make it tonight. There are 2 brothers and a husband that are very busy this evening, but we are so happy to have these lovely ladies here, and they're going to tell you all about their super cool family.
I'm Tiffany. This is my daughter Dima. She is in 5th grade at SEM, and this is Aya. We have the rest of the family here. All in spirit. Dima started out at ACS when she was 3 years old. She got a very fabulous teacher, Miss Jo, that had her for 3 years here, and she learned a lot. When she came into ECS, she wasn't talking at all, I don't think. Ms. Colleen has been with Dima since day 1.
So I'm turning my ringer off.
So she has seen Dima through her best and her worst, probably. Dima's come a long way. She learned how to talk here at ECS. Her teachers in elementary school took a hold of her and figured out that she really actually loves to learn. So her kindergarten teacher included her in class a lot and did inclusion. And by 1st grade, she was into gen ed. So starting out in SLC at the age of 3 and then into gen ed by 1st grade was, I don't know, pretty amazing if you ask me.
Yes, very amazing.
So
very awesome.
she has, along the years, decided different professions that she wants to be when she grows up. I think we started out as Doctor, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say something. So hi, my name is Stuart, and today, so I don't know to tell you, yeah, so first when I used to go to school, I used to go to 10 o'clock, and after that, it was elementary. It's real good.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I have a lot of things I want to grow up, but I'll just totally free. So, I want to be when I grow up is a kickboxer, a fashion designer, and like a chef.
Wonderful. What are your favorite things to do at school?
So my favorite things to do at school is art because I like to inspire myself.
Yep, art is great. That's one of her biggest outlets is she works to be able to do art. So she works through all of her work, and then she gets to color and draw and design things. So next year we're off to middle school, a whole new challenge. If anybody has any teenagers, I need some advice. Going into a whole new world. So, Dima learned how to swim these last 2 years. So this summer she learned how to swim, and she actually managed to make it through the deep end because that was her biggest fear of swimming. So that was our big accomplishment this summer. She is wanting to do kickboxing. Unfortunately, no gyms here will let her until she's 13. So we're working on that one. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I got a lot of things I want to add. So, as you can tell, I kind of like YouTube for kids, and it's really fun. So, so I watch my Rocky stuff, so they do a really good crafts, so you can watch the channel on YouTube for kids.
And craft project?
Yeah, you can learn some craft projects and, well,
Can you have Aya tell us about what her strengths are besides being a great sister?
What are Dima's strengths?
What are Dima's? No, your strengths.
Your strengths?
Aya.
I can tell you some of Aya's strengths.
No, it's too easy.
Aya's always been an awesome support system for her sister. She's like a second mother. She's always taken that role as to help her sister do things. They swim together. They get dressed in the mornings together. They do just about everything. So her biggest strength is that for Dima, is that she's such a huge help. Such a motherly figure for her.
That's great. So Tiffany's looking at me because she wants to save herself, but I'm going to put you on the spot. So this woman has the biggest heart, and her strength is being an amazing mom to 5 kids, and these kids are really, truly amazing. And as a parent, everyone knows that you kind of get down and you get bogged in and you can't see the big picture. But I want you guys to make sure on the way out you tell her how great her kids are so she can see the big picture. Do you want to talk about any other of your strengths?
Anything you want me to talk about?
Just go ahead.
I don't.
What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
Our hobbies, we like to travel together as a family. We swim, we're a big swim family. Everybody is on Heritage Swim Team. Dima's, of course, at the Texas Sport Aquatic Swimming. So we spend a lot of our times doing that. I mean, there's so much to...
Not you.
Oh, I don't have strengths.
Just tell me one thing and I'll let you go.
one thing. I get up every morning. Yep.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, you guys. Okay, next up we have Imani and Daryl. And Imani I've known since she was in third grade. And they have a really, truly amazing, inspiring story. And I'm going to let Daryl tell it, and then we're going to hear from Imani about what she's doing now and what she feels her strengths are.
All right, everybody. I'm trying not to. Me and this one right here, we got shed a lot of tears. They told us some great pictures and stuff. I was looking through the house trying to find something. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring my baby with me. Well, my money, just I'm just gonna start from the beginning. When we started out, we moved out here in 2004. Imani was in the kindergarten, and we have 4 children all together. And then it wasn't even a month, 2 months before we moved over here that we started having problems. And basically, we were trying to figure out what was going on with her, because at that time she started having seizures. And it was just crazy. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know where to go to, what to do, and this and that. But I'm saying this from start to finish. Frisco ISD has been there for us. And so I'm trying not to be, I'm an ex-girl son in the military. I ain't supposed to be emotional and crying and stuff. I'm a hold it together guy, okay? Well, it was just, from the beginning, it was just, we was racking up brains, trying to figure out what was going on, because she was having severe grand mal seizures. We didn't know what was going on, and just trying to figure out, what was going on as far as our child. And, we went to the doctor, Texas Children's, not Texas Children's, Children's Medical Center. Finally went there, and we found out that she was having some issues. And basically, we ended up having to have brain surgery. It was, she had to have a brain surgery. And, it was just the craziest thing in the world, sitting up there, we have 3 other children, trying to pretty much juggle that, trying to figure out what we need to do. And, again, Frisco ISD was there for us. She was at Bowles Elementary at that time. And I remember Miss Kaney, I don't know if any of you know about her, she was the principal there. And she made a point to say, hey, we're gonna be there for you. And, it was so much to the point where I remember when my daughter had her surgery, we had a teacher, her teacher at the time, her kindergarten teacher, was gonna babysit our children. The children, and just, they went and they made everything as comfortable as they possibly could. At first surgery, it was nerve-wracking, and it was rough. She came out, but it didn't do what we needed to do. We didn't know what was it, because she came out, it seemed like she did was even worse afterwards. We're talking about constant issues. We went to, came in first grade, everybody already knew who Imani was, but, at that time, she was still pretty much doing the same thing all the other kids were doing. My baby is special. I'm gonna say that right now. But it got worse. And when I say it got worse, we're talking about 20 grand mal seizures today. And altogether about 100 seizures that we didn't know about. She was having petite malls. And we were trying to rack our brains, trying to figure out what it was that was going on. And at that time, if we found out, it was a rare brain disorder called Rasmussen encephalitis. And it was basically debilitating. When I say it was so debilitating, she went from being able to walk, talk, do anything when she was in a wheelchair. She was very to the point she could not speak, she couldn't do anything. She barely could eat, she couldn't do anything. And the whole way, all of the teachers were there for her. And, I remember the worst day in my life, still to this day, was the day that my wife you know, they told my wife that they were gonna, the first time, when they told her she was gonna have brain surgery, my wife started crying, and she would stop literally for 3 days. And I mean, I couldn't do anything. The worst feeling in the world is for you not to be able to help your family. I don't know any man that's, you know, you can't help your family. And of course, your wife, you know, that's my best friend. She's hurt, I'm gonna hurt even worse. And the second time, I mean, my wife was just devastated. You know, they told us that, you know, at that time, she was literally to the point where she was wasting away. She couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. And just sitting in that wheelchair, but Miss Cool can tell you about money. Her strength is her stubbornness. She's very stubborn. And that's always been that one thing I told her. To this day, she's still very, very stubborn. And, you know, she gets that from her mother. Not one of you tell my wife. Not one of you, I'm dead serious. I'm scared of it. It's just that, you know, just to sit up here and just see the interaction with the people right there at First ISD. We had to have the surgery, you know, it was just rough, it was so rough, you know. And, you know, you sit up here, worst deal in the world, you know, of course they got to give you worst case scenario. They say she won't be able to walk, talk, or do anything. And I'm sitting up here, to this day, I cannot go in the hospitals. I've been in so many hospitals, it just got to the point where I got sick of it. And I'm not going to do this, Dirty. You better not do this. I remember the day of surgery, they had 12 hours. 12 hours, the hardest 12 hours of my life. And, you know, they told me, they said, well, you may well get yourself ready. You know, something different. She may not be able to walk, she may not be able to talk, she may not be able to do anything. And first day she said, her husband's there with her, just trying to get her through this, and she said, I love you. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I'm sitting up here, I'm just like, I'm 6'2", almost 300 pounds. I'm sitting up here crying like a baby. I'm sorry. You know, I'm preparing just like all the rest of the people. Like, it was hard, still, the hardest thing in the world. And these people were there for me from day one. I remember even the teachers would come into and just trying to visit and be there for her and just make her feel so good. And I remember when we had to go over there with Miss Cooper, that's when I met this woman. I love this woman over here. I want y'all to know that. You know, she was encouraging, she was inspiring, she was uplifting. I mean, she was everything that I expected from First ISD. And I remember when Imani was to the point where a lot of the kids, they weren't on the level. She was just doing, you seen it was just, you remember the little movie that they made, about a lot of the kids, and they were all just coming up and saying, your daughter's incredible, because she was playing with the kids, she was smiling and doing this, that, and the other. I always tell everybody about the stubbornness that she has. When we were, just before when we were leaving the hospital, we were about ready to leave the hospital, they told us, because she was in there every day, we were trying to get her, because her right side, she's basically partially, left her partially paralyzed, and on the right side. And, they were sitting up there, they was telling her, and, we were doing the therapy, we were doing this, that, and that. And they said, Imani, you want to go home? You got to get up, you got to walk. And I remember that she said that, and I said, hey, you want to go home, don't you? She was like, yeah, I want to go home. She said, I said, well, it's up to you. This girl was, at that time, she was like, what, 7 years old. She got up and she dragged my wife all around that whole place, literally. And just going in there, again, when we were working with Miss Kane, and, even with Miss Larson over at Fisher, they all made it a point to try and be there for us in any way possible. And they made her feel so comfortable. I just love the way that they had the inclusions were at Fisher. where they had the special needs children that interact with other kids, and the kids were so respectful of these kids, regardless of what it was that was going on with them. And, I'm just, guys, I don't want to draw on, but I'm just going to go from elementary to high school, because this is something that you need to know about these people that we got around. She came, and I remember she went to Pink, and their word is exclusive, just like I was saying this a minute ago. They're not word is exclusive like I would like to have been. They were still doing well. But she went over to Robinson, and the people over there at Robinson, I don't know if it was a person, Mr. Iowa, they basically made everything to where they were going to accommodate her in every way. I wish any of y'all, if you ever heard of Miss Overstreet, this girl loves her. Miss Overstreet, she was great. She made a point to make sure that this girl was, because she still has she had deficits at that time. Trying to, she had to literally learn how to read and do everything all over again. And, they had a whole program around her. And, it was hard for her to leave. But the best thing that happened is that when she ended up going over to Stafford, Ms. Overstreet came back over, and she had Ola, and also we had Ms. Bachman. I don't know if any of you ever met Bachman. I'll tell you a story about her afterwards. It was just, junior high was rough because, that's when kids are growing up and, kids are cool sometimes. And, of course, what's going to happen, the girls like boys, little cute little boys running around. And, I guess one of the boys, they didn't put much care in she had a little English. And it was rough. And again, going back to the people of Bristol ISD, they made a point to let they dealt with it. They made her know that she was special. And, they took care of my family, just like always. And Miss Bachman, she was just, I told her that Miss Overstreet was a hard and tough act to follow. Miss Bachman left her because she was something else. She made a point to take care of everybody and do everything she could to try to make sure this good. And even the principal over there, she was there. I remember we were fortunate enough to be able to go to, through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We ended up going over to Montreal to go see her then favorite group, One Direction. Yeah, she don't like me anymore. We got to meet the guys at One Direction. We were over there, we were there over in Montreal for a week. And, well, she was the one who introduced to let her know that, okay, we're going over there. And she's still on YouTube to this day. She's all excited and everything. So they made everything just great. And then we went to high school. Another, Miss, what is that? Mr. Guzman? Mr. Guzman, yeah. Miss Frank. All of our teachers, it's just another example of all the inclusion that they have over here. They did everything they could to make this girl feel comfortable. She was inclusive. She was making it great. She was doing everything that everybody else was doing. Also, we had the physical therapy and everything else that was going on. My whole experience. The reason why I decided to be here, I'm kind of always brag on how well Bristol ISD is, especially when it comes to accommodating special needs children. And everybody went that extra mile, even Dr. Reed, when he was still there, he made a point to even address our family, let us know that, we're going to be there for you, so, this all culminated to this last June when my baby graduated from high school. And again, getting back in this box, we was looking out, I was sitting there, I already was a mess, I've been crying all night. It's like, look at this big old man over here crying like he is. I've been crying all night, I'm sitting over this emotion, just thinking about all of the things that she had been through. And, afterwards, we graduated, they threw little hats, and they walked around, and we were looking everywhere for your money. And I'm getting mad, and look at this and I'm like, where did she go? We come outside, and I'm like, oh my God, Miss Bachman's sitting there with her. she said, she made a point to say, she said, I've been taking care of y'all for this long. I'm still taking care of y'all right now. But it was the best feeling. That right there just let me know how good this whole area is. I mean, everything that they go out of their way to provide for these children. I mean, just like with now, she has an internship. They're trying to get her to the point where she's, hopefully she'll get her job. And in the meantime, she's, she got her own little job. She's going, and this is all, she's a product of what is going on over here in First Class. I have a 12-year relationship. I have 4 children. My oldest son, he was number 17 in his class. He's graduating up here at UTV this spring. My other daughter, she's graduating this spring. I got my last one. He broke my heart. He said he wants to go to UT, and I won't tell you. And it broke my heart. I told him, you can't come to my house and burn my heart. But see, and he's going to make it too. But it's, again, I mean, I cannot stress how much, how much I love these people. I mean, as a father, all these gentlemen in there, they understand what it is when it comes to a child. Your responsibility is your household. And I'm going to tell you, it was hard holding it together sometimes. It was hard holding it together. When you have a special needs child, you got, you got a lot of sacrifices you got to make. And I always say that with my other children, they made huge sacrifices because they knew that, I had to take her to therapy. I had to do this. It was times when they wanted me to spend that time with me, but they couldn't because I had to do that for her. We had speech therapy, we had physical therapy. We had everything. We were just trying to get her to the point where she was back and made for sacrifices. I made sacrifices. I would sit up here and I had to pretty much literally work at night sometimes. Just so, so that I could sit up here and make sure that she was okay. And, it's been an experience, and, with my wife, I'm scared of her, but I'm crazy about it. But, she's been right there beside me every step of the way. She was, it's been rough. I mean, anybody that tells you if you have a special needs child, you're going to be going through. I mean, we really went through. But what was the one good, refreshing thing is the fact that we had people here that we could confide in. And, that's when they asked me to speak here, I said, oh, I wasn't going to make that. That was, she can ask me to do anything. I'll tap dance for you if you want me to. But no, it won't be good. It's just that, again, I just want to sit up there and do everything I can. These children right here, they're in good hands. I can say that they're all in good hands. They're in great hands. Her strength, as I always say, has always been her stubbornness. She was tenacious, just strong, and it's funny that everybody was talking about how much music makes a difference. She, like I said, she had One Direction, now she got K-pop. It's just, all of these therapists, they have so many resources, and they go out of their way to make a point to let you know about it. My baby is to the point where she's a young woman now, and just like now, it was just last night that we had to go and think about assist. It's just for being able to assist the guardianship. And I wanted to talk, if I can, a little bit about that. Some of the parents need to know about that, especially once they reach her age. She's 19 now, and we were supposed to do languages. Everybody always talking about how you just go out here and it's not guardianship. These kids, if you love these kids, you will do the assistant guardianship. That's the way I feel, because they still have some say. And I don't want to be to the point where I feel like I'm a tyrant, because you have so much. When you have a guardianship, you're just to the point where you have so much control, too much control, when it comes down to it. And I just want my child. She's already had her little issues. And the last thing I want to do is handcuff her in anybody. But in England, one of the things I can, and I'm going to shut up because I'm tired of shutting up. I'm tired of crying. I just want y'all to know that a lot of these people around here, they are really, really good people. They're really good people. Miss Kayla, every time she seen me, we saw each other, I thought I was going to break a rib on her, because she was, I hadn't seen her in a while. This woman, you just don't know what she's done for my family. We're Oklahomans. We come move down there. We're already in enemy territory anyway. But just, coming down here and having people in the corner like that, I mean, it was so, I can still think about when Imani was at her worst. These people raised almost $7,000 for my family. I mean, raised $7,000. It was just, it was so funny. The kids were bringing pennies and stuff like that for us. I mean, we didn't eat. I mean, we all got fat because they had all these, we had all these food vouchers and everything else. People just bringing us stuff. I mean, I said, that just comes to show you there's some really good people around here. And, they took care of us. I mean, it ain't over yet. It's not over yet. She's still going, she has some deficits. She wants to be a nurse. She wants to nurse. And she wants to work with older people. For right now, I told her the sky's the limit. She's met the worst. And, it's just, I can't praise these people enough. And I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let her say something if she feels like it. I'm going to take her back.
Well, you already told me.
Mommy, tell us about what you're doing now and what
you. See, this is my buddy. We hang together. And it's funny, we always talk about the music. Me and her, we ride around. We just it was the thing that we used to do when we went to therapy. And we'd be riding and we'd be playing music as loud as we can, singing the whole time. And neither one of our voices was any good, but we oh, what I say, both of us, woman.
Okay, so what I do is I deliver your mail in the morning, and I'll show you again. It was a lot of stuff I did.
Okay, it's a lot of stuff.
And sometimes I file too, and sometimes I shred too. We do like big projects too and stuff.
Tell them about your other job. She works at Wendy's, guys. She's over here off of over here. She's the
I work at Wendy's. I do cleaning and wiping the tables too, and chairs too.
Wonderful.
See who's first out.
Thank you so much. You guys are so fun. Amani was just telling me the other day, and the best part of this is she's in the administration building, so all of us get to see her. All of us that have known her since she was little, the therapists know her really well, and it's just so fun seeing her there, and I get a hug every day from her. But she was telling me at Wendy's that nobody buys the cookies. So if you end up at her Wendy's, please buy a cookie. It's very disturbing. She said they're really good.
Over off of Dallas Parkway in El Dorado.
Okay.
Okay, we have 2 quick videos to show you. We have just enough time, so I'm going to show you. There's a student in our district. His mom is actually a therapist in the district, and I'm going to tell a little bit of their story. His name is Ben, and he is amazing. But let's see if we can get it to go. Okay. It's been paused for too long. No, not that one. There we go.
We've been married 18 years. We'll be married 19 years in September.
Yeah.
27. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the quest to live happy,
A lot of years. He's put up others embraced 2 kids, one biological,
Rebecca.
the other a gift.
And then Benjamin. To me, he is pure love.
He is Ben, adopted at 2 months, now 11, all energy, all heart.
Probably tells me 25 times a day that he loves me, and that, that's the best thing in the world to hear that.
After everything they've overcome, cerebral palsy, autism, albinism, and legally blind.
Every doctor we see has never seen the combination of symptoms that they have with Ben.
The medications were not helping. The family says they were actually hurting Ben. The answer was in their living room all along.
Love never sounded so sweet. Never sounded so sweet.
I want to sing a star song for you.
An old piano they've always had. Ben found comfort and his sweet voice.
If he's got a gift, this is his gift to the world.
Music, proficient at a song he plays over and over. With near perfection, Ben folds Sky High.
I feel happy when I play the star song.
Ben cannot read the music, but he feels it, literally, an ear to the piano.
And he wants to feel the vibration.
Ben's talent would reach Ben Folds. Dad sent a video of his son to the musician.
He got back to me in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's how Ben touches people. 5 minutes.
With every song, he could do it in less time. Both Bens will meet. It started with music. Happiness down to the last vibration.
She wanted to be here tonight, but she was busy. Very inspiring, that family, and they found his strength. Okay, here's another video. I don't know if you guys saw him on the news or not, but his name is Grant. His name is Grant, and you're going to see the story about how his mom found some strengths in him, and they actually created a business together.
I'm Blake's mom.
Blake Pond.
And this is Blake's Snow Shack. We started snow cone business because it's hot in Texas. Blake loves the community. He wants to be downtown.
Everyone either knows Blake or Blake knows them. As soon as I heard about it, I wanted to work for Blake.
Blake has always been full of life. You can't see him and not smile.
And after getting to know Blake, I just knew that he needed to be part of our football team, so we made a decision to make him one of our captains. One of the main things he does is he leads us out to a run-through sign on Friday nights, and he just helps create enthusiasm for our football games.
Growing up, Blake looked up to his older brother, Mitchell. I always wanted to be like him, do everything he did. He wanted to earn money like Mitchell did.
We saw a problem. Our son needed a job, so we pulled together with our community and made it happen. What do we serve at Snow Shack? Snow cones? Pickles? And a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah.
Do we have fun?
Yeah.
Do you like being the boss?
Yeah. He's tough, but he's fair, and he keeps us on our toes.
NASCAR was an unbelievable experience. Seeing Blake's logo featured on the Levine family racing car, it's something we never imagined. There was a time in Blake's life that I worried that he
filled out some of your own children's strengths and that you were able to get some inspiration tonight. Thank you so much for coming. This is our last parent training until after the holidays, because nobody seems to come in November and December. So, we kind of got smart a few years ago and stopped having them. But we will have parent training again in January. We have a great lineup for the spring, so we hope to see you back then. And please, if you want, take a minute to check out the Parent Sanctuary and Lending Library on your way out. Remember, we're open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in there, and we're there as in-home parent trainers on Fridays, so we can help you figure out some strengths for your children if you pop in there and meet with us. Also, we have a behavior training tomorrow. It's been a very busy week. We have some of you here that were at Kirk Martin yesterday. We had that till late last night and then this night. So if you want more of us, we have a behavior training tomorrow at noon here at the ECS. Thank you. You guys get home safe, and thank you so much to the families that presented. Thank you for inspiring us. You are all amazing, and keep up the great work.